like anyone who's been following along so far with some of these tutorials on how these Flip Scene Studio books work. Glad you could join me again. So today, this is going to be another one out of book number 1, the Essentials Pack. So this is what that cover looks like should you be interested in picking one of these up. Just be careful when you do order one. I have 2 different ones. They have the same cover, but if you notice down here, it actually details that this is for 4-inch. I also have one for 6-inch scale figures. So just make note of that before you order. All right, so let's look at today. Today's tutorial number 7, and we're going to be looking at the hidden forest scene. I was trying to break the mold a little bit from all the Marvel Universe figures, just kind of show some other figure examples. So I just grabbed a Legolas figure that I had from the Lord of the Rings series, and I thought it would be fitting to have someone like him in this hidden forest, right? So it should be suitable for that. Just a little quick heads up, I am using Windows for this tutorial, but if you are using a Mac, just know if you are using Photoshop as well, just know that when I say Control on your keyboard, it would be Command. It's pretty much the same shortcut keys. It's just use Command instead of Control. And again, I am using Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop and you're looking for some free photo editing software, there may be others out there and apps for your phone and so forth, so on. But I know on the web they have something called photopea.com. It could be Photopea. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I think it's photopea.com. That's what I'll say. So check that out. And let's see, one more thing. The overlays, yep. So you're going to see me using some special effects in here. Some lighting, maybe some particles, some sunlight, smoke, things like that. If you ever see those are some ones that I've made custom for myself, but they're super easy to make. And if you see tutorial 3, you can learn how to make those yourself, so you can make the proper overlays that you need for your image. All right. And with that said, we will jump right in. So we're going to start by bringing in our image. So here is the picture of the action figure that I took on the Hidden Forest background. So here we go. It's kind of a cool angle, cool shot. Going for that cinematic look. Already not bad. All right. So it's a lot better than sitting a figure on your dresser, right, and taking a picture. So it already looks pretty cool. But let's go ahead and take that a step further. So just to jump right in, we're going to come over here and select your quick select tool and make sure that you have the layer highlighted that you want to select from. All right, and you're going to come up here to the top and you're going to press select subject. Now, Photoshop does a really good job at knowing what you're going for. And as you can see, it cropped him out really well. So we're just going to go with that. We're going to hit Control C and Control Shift V to paste him. The reason we throw the shift in there is so that it pastes him directly on top of where you copied him from. Sometimes if you just do Control V, it'll paste him slightly off center. All right, so now we did Control Shift V, we got him pasted above that layer. Now it's just a matter of, this is where you could do some color changing on him if you wanted him to match the background a little bit better. It's up to you. I'll do it just to demonstrate. So I'm going to select his layer here, and we want layer 3 over here to match Book 1 Hidden Jungle as far as color tones go. So I'm going to select layer 3, and I'm going to go to Image Adjustments and Match the Color. And we said we want to, let's choose document. We said we want to match the color of the, let's see, the Book 1 Hidden Jungle. Now I know that looks a little bit bizarre, that's fine. Well, let's bring the fade all the way to 100%, okay? So this is like, there's no effect on it. Now let's slowly nudge this down until we feel like his color looks more like he's actually out there in that environment. See how it slowly brings in some of the other colors? Now if he seems a little dull, a little dark, you can bring that luminance up a little bit. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna hit OK there. Now it looks more like he's kind of in that correct lighting with the correct tones. Okay, so with that out of the way, with him on his own layer, we're going to select the layer behind him because we want to remove that spiral binding back there. Okay, so I'm going to get my selection tool here, and I'm going to, and if you just want to know what I'm choosing, if you click and hold that button, you'll get this little menu. We're choosing the polygonal lasso tool for this particular one because it's at an angle. But we're going to click and highlight around that spiral binding. Then we're going to click Generate a Fill, leave it default, don't type anything here, and then click Generate. Photoshop is going to do its own work here and try to recreate this background behind Legolas here, okay? It's going to give you 3 options. Typically, I can find what I'm looking for within those 3. If you can't, just hit Generate again and you'll get 3 more options. That already looks pretty good. You can drag this little bar on the left-hand side out of the way if it's in your way. But let's see, let's go through these. Not bad. That one's got water, but although it's cool, there's not really any water down here, so it wouldn't make sense. I kind of like that one. That one looks good. So I'm going to select this layer. I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to select the layer underneath of it. And then we're going to press Control E to merge those layers together. So now we got a solid image in the background. So that's now it's a permanent change there. Okay, so off to a good start. Already, the photo is looking pretty darn good. You could actually settle with this and probably get away with it just fine. But let's take another step. Let's add some other elements, some of these overlays that I was referring to before that'll really give it that kind of magazine shot, right, as I call it. So this is just really where you just get to play around, you know. So let's say I want to add some sunlight. Let's grab this sunlight right here. And if I'm looking naturally, the fact that sunlight's hitting the front of this building means it's probably coming from this direction. So you kind of want it to make sense. So I will put this up here and I will drag this out. I just want to make it a little bit bigger. All right. So let's just say you can move it around. I'm going to move this up here like it's coming through the trees back there in the back. I think that's a good placement right there for him. So I'm going to hit enter. All right. So, okay. We're already warmed it up a little bit here. Let's see, what else could we do there? I don't know that I'm going to use all of these. I just threw some in here as an example, but here's a sun lens glare. So again, that sunlight needs to be, whoops, let's make sure you're on the right layer. You can hold Control, by the way, if you're accidentally clicking the wrong layer. Click the one you want and then hold Control when you're out here, and then you can move around the one that you have highlighted over here. So now that we have that one selected, again, we want the sunlight to be on the left side. So I'm going to click one of these little boxes here and choose to flip it horizontally. Okay, and I'm going to put this up here, almost like the sun's trying to peek through. Let me make that a little bigger. I want it to be like the sun's trying to peek through those trees right there, you know? And you get this nice little line that goes across him like it's a sun glare or a lens glare. So I'm going to move it kind of out of frame. Maybe like that. See, that looks pretty cool. That looks a little bit more realistic as well. All right, so next I would say, I think I'm gonna try, let's try some of these, for starters, let's try some of this fog. Maybe it's early in the morning. So let's get some of this fog. Now, I don't want it to be coming straight up like something's on fire, right? So I think in this case, I'm gonna take the smoke and turn it horizontal. And now smoke has become fog. Now, I'm not sure that I'm gonna use the fog, but let's just see. I might put some of this fog on the ground, just make it a little mysterious. I think that is okay, but the color's a little too white. So let's go up here to Image Adjustments and Hue and Saturation. Let's colorize it, and let's turn it to more like a warm color. It's kind of reflecting off of that morning light. If you look, if I move it around, you can see it down here, and that's it, right? You don't want it to stand out and be the focal point. You just want it to be one of those subtle things you added to the photo. Okay, not bad, not bad. Let's see. I threw in some forest particles here. Excuse me, I got a little sickness going on right now, so I'm clearing my throat. So as you can see, let me hide and show that. See these little particles I have? These are just some little particles. I don't know. Maybe in a forest, there's just things that float around, dust spots, dust particles. So I may just put some of these in there, but I don't want it to be too distracting. So I'm going to bring the opacity down and let it be kind of just some of those subtle things that you notice, but you don't notice. Does that make sense? So I'm going to take that, and I might even come up here to filter, blur. Let me just choose the Gaussian blur, and you can bring this up until those really blur out if you want. Let's see. All right, so that was blurred too much. They disappeared. See these little blurry spots right here in the image? That's what I'm working on. That actually looks pretty good. I like that fuzzy look. It makes it just seem like it's so far away or so close to the camera that it blurs it, right? All right, so I'm liking this a lot. Honestly, I think we're basically done. I mean, I don't, sometimes less is more. You don't really just want to throw things in there because you can. You just want to go with what looks good. So at this point, I'm just going to select this top one, and I'm going to go all the way down to this bottom one here. Just these are our overlays in our base image, the Legolas we cropped out, all of that. And I'm going to hit Control E and merge it. So now we have a flattened image that looks pretty darn cool. So now what I'm going to do, I like to come into adjustments up here, and there's presets. I personally like one under creative called dark fade. Now I know that darkened it way too much. That's okay. So minimize this little dark fade, or collapse I should say, this dark fade folder. Click it to make sure you're highlighted it. And now, for example, if I drag it all the way down, this is back where we were. But I want to slowly bump up this dark fade until it gets to that kind of cinematic feel that I'm looking for. See, maybe about right here. It feels more cinematic to me. I don't know. So I'm going to go with that personally. So I'm going to select this dark fade effect, hold Control, and select this image that we flattened earlier. Select those two and you hit Control E. Now those are flattened. This is a permanent shot. So now going back to the adjustments tab, we're going to click single adjustments. I personally like to choose the levels, and I like to bring the darks up a little bit, not too much, and then bring the light one down. It makes those lights pop. So that's pretty cool. You can shift the middle if you just want to kind of that one last extra tweak to get it where you want it. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to choose this levels layer, and I'm going to highlight it with this creative layer here, and I'm going to hit Control E to merge it once again. And then finally, your logo. You want to put a logo up there. If others are going to be using this same book as you just want to kind of showcase which one's your work, right? So if you got a logo, you want it to be a PNG file probably, put it up there. But if I were you, I would bring the opacity down quite a bit. You see how I've done here? You don't want that to be the star of your picture. You just want it to be in there, but the focus needs to be Legolas in this case. I might even bring it down a little bit more, honestly. Yeah, that's good. It's kind of like a little watermark. That's all it is. And that's it. I think we're done editing this photo. So let me just, I had a copy of the original image right here from before. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you before and after. There's where we were, straight out of the camera, and here's where we landed. All right, so again, out of the camera, it's not bad. It's really not. If you don't know how to edit, you don't have software, you don't feel like going on to photop.com or anywhere else or use an app, no problem. Take a picture. You could probably just tweak the colors right there in your app and get a really cool shot. But if you wanted to go the extra mile, you could get some more kind of cinematic looks, or that magazine shot, as I call it. But there you go, before and after. So that's it. I do appreciate you taking the time to look at this, and if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be back soon with tutorial number 8. All right, take care.